Shut up.
What is happening, friends of CCP Podcasting? Welcome to Beyond the Bell Live. I am Chris Page, and it is a Tuesday evening. It's freezing balls in Florida. I don't know who up north sent me this nasty weather, but you can take it back. I don't want any more of it. It's going to be a fun show tonight, guys. Welcome, everybody, if you're joining us across all of our platforms, over on Twitch, over on X, and over on YouTube. I hope you guys are doing well. We are one step closer to the weekend, and for me, that means that we are one step closer to Southern California, and that means, dump, we are headed to Chatsworth with our friends at Millennium Pro Wrestling and Primal Pro Wrestling. It is going to be Chapter 3, Good Vibrations, March the 28th, a week from Saturday. And guys, we are coming in smoking. We have got a 10-man battle royal. 10 of the best. 5 from Primal Pro, 5 from Millennium Pro, the Rebel Storm. We've got Draven Silvera. We got Isaiah Hendricks, Tariq, Caius from Texas is in the house. We've got Eddie Rohr. We've got G4, Grizz, Xander Phillips, Marate. This is going to be a wild exchange. Guys, we're starting with 10. Goes to 2. After then, it's pinfall submission. We will have a winner, and it is going to be a fun time. Fatal four-way action sponsored by No Game Unturned. He's taking care of Frankie Flacco on this match, and we've got Frankie going up against Jake Mays, the new Primal Pro Coastal Champion, by the way, as well as Jeremiah Fresh and Miggy Rose in the equation here. It's going to be a fun time and a wild affair, to say the very least. Speaking of championships, Primal Pro Wrestling's Heavyweight Championship is on the line as Yasin Khan defends against Michael Hopkins. And if that wasn't enough, we've sweetened the pot. Guys, one of these guys is coming to Orlando and will be one of the 8 to wrestle for our Heavyweight Championship in April. This is going to be a wild one. SoCal's going to be represented, and I can't wait to see who's going to pull the win here. What about this one? Our own Goth has sponsored Skrilla the Great one more time as he's taking on J2 Mattioli. This is a rematch from January at Chapter 2. If you didn't see how that one went down in Orlando, head over to our YouTube platform and check out that live event, and you shall see for yourself what transpired and how Skrilla pulled a dub. We're going to see what happens in Chatsworth with J2. Can he get some revenge? The national championship is on the line. Dustin Jack Daniels, he's got Chuck Mercer in his corner, and our own Dallas Dash, and I will be cornering Dallas for that. I've got my eyes on you, Chucky. Step out of line, brother. Just step one time. That's all I'm asking you to do. How about this? First time ever. SoCal Pro Heavyweight Champion. While this is not a championship match, Matthias is going to be in the house, and he's taking on former MPW Heavyweight Champion Busio, and that is going to be absolutely insane. I hope my man Busio gets a little high because I will be more than happy to partake in that fun time. And our friends at One Division Pro, their Heavyweight Championship is on the line. Roachy Roach defends against Phineas Sun. And, guys, it's a Black Friday rematch. This is how we're going to kick off our show. CJ Tino, Mr. 551, and Daniel Moon one more time, one-on-one. And, guys, it leads to the main event for the absolute last time. 2 of the best in Southern California when it comes to tag team wrestling. The Millennium Pro Wrestling tag titles are on the line in the best of 3 falls. The Brothers Divine and the Pump Line. You can get your tickets at ccppodcasting.com right now. This is one that you don't want to miss. It's going to be a great weekend as we partner up with Millennium and Primal. And guys, not only just for our show. If you're going to be in the area, Millennium is on Friday night. Our show's on Saturday afternoon. And then you can come hang out with us in San Diego on Sunday for Primal Rage because that just seems like a fun time the whole way around. It's going to be a great weekend of Southern California wrestling, and I hope to see some of you, if not all of you, right there with us because why wouldn't you be? Wrestling. It's professional wrestling. Let's get into why we're here tonight. Shout out to Shannon. I see you over on Twitch. I see some of you guys loading in over there. I hope you guys are about to join us and sit down with us because we've got a fun conversation. Our guest today comes to us from the great state of Texas. And, truth be known, I was in San Antonio a couple of weeks ago, and I got an opportunity to meet this guy face to face. Not only him, they're the whole crew down there. And while I had an overall positive experience, I definitely wanted to bring this guy in on the show because from what I have seen and what I have gathered, these guys it's one of three that make up the empire, and they are doing some really, really, really good things in the San Antonio market. Not only just in the San Antonio market, but across Texas. And I feel like we need to sit down and talk to him. We talked to Aries Alexander several months ago. Tonight, we welcome in another member of the Empire. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Beyond the Bell Live, Mr. Santiago Medina. How are you, sir?
Big chillin'. I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Jacked and stacked, I see. That hasn't changed.
That pump line, and I was like, that's right here.
You said, who needs a pump line? I got it right there. You doing all right, brother?
I'm doing fantastic.
Well, we've got a fantastic show, to say the very least. Brianna's already popping in over on Twitch. Santiago is absolutely amazing and talented, and I can agree with that based off of what I have seen, Brianna. I think you're right on the money there. I think
at least very few people, like, she's one of the few that has common sense in San Antonio.
Well, after being there, I can agree with that. And I was only there for like 12 hours, bro. And it was almost 7 hours too long. I want to tell you about my experience there. So, outside of you guys, right? We flew in the morning of, right? Actually, the afternoon of, and we got with no stops, no nothing, straight to the building. We finally make it back to the hotel, and it's a nice place. I'm not going to name it because I think there's only one that's in the vicinity there, and if they don't like me, then they can fuck off. Crown Plaza. I'll just go ahead and say it. We show up, man, and reservation was already taken care of, right? Like, it's already done. This lady tried to charge my card for a room. Like, I was like, no, let me talk to your manager. I've had I'm going on 14 hours right now, 16 hours. Are you really sure you want to play with me? But that wasn't even it. That wasn't even the worst of it. We finally get up to the room, go down, get some food from the bar. 45 minutes later on a fucking hamburger. Are you kidding me?
Like I said, San Antonio's just been declining. Like, it's just like a black hole.
Well, we can get past that. I can look past some of it, but I cannot look past them trying to take 45 minutes to, number one, make a hamburger, and then number two, try and double charge me for a room. I was like, no, not having it. But nonetheless, man, I'm looking forward to having you here. I've been looking forward to the show. I've been looking forward to sitting down and talking to you and finding out more about you. We got to spend a little bit of time together last month while I was out in San Antonio, but not enough because I definitely want to pick your brain a little bit and really just introduce you to our audience, because I'm a firm believer that everybody needs to be seen, and everybody that I lay eyes on, like, I want to introduce them to, our family members, is what I call them. So for you, when our conversation starts, man, I start at the top. And I want to go to when did you get in the ring? What drew you in? When did you become a fan? What was going on? Whether it be on television, or was there like anybody that stood out to you that drew you in, or what's that look like for you?
All right, so the way I got into wrestling was, of course, it was WWE, but I didn't know WWE was real, mind you. My dad had gotten himself a PlayStation 2 game, and it was so conveniently Raw. And I just remember seeing all these characters, and I'm like, man, as a kid thinking, these guys are like badass. It's some creative imagination. Fast forward probably like 2 weeks later, I'm going down to the convenience store right down the street from my house in Detroit at the time. And there it is on the TV, the dudes I've been seeing on the video game. And I was like, what's this? I asked the dude on the counter, and he was like, oh, this is that wrestling stuff. They're on like every Monday or something like that. So sure enough, my dad did some digging, and yeah, they ran every Monday. And it just so happened to be Monday that day. And I'll never forget, it was just, I saw Kane come out. And then I saw Edge, and I was like, oh, man. Actually, it was Kane versus Batista. Edge came in and hit Kane over the head with the briefcase because he was with Lita and all that.
The Gold Rush tournament. Yeah.
So I was like, oh, my God, this shit's real. This is all real. And that's when I knew. I was like, oh, my God. Somehow I gotta do this. And mind you, that was obviously the dream growing up. And it'd be fake to say that the entire time that I've been alive, like, oh yeah, I'm going to be a wrestler. No. Mind you, my dreams got shot down real quick by my father. My father was a very machismo realistic man. So he was just like, look, kid, you're too short and you're not buff enough to ever be a wrestler. So I was like, well, I guess there goes that. But yeah, that's kind of how I got into wrestling, man. That's what started it. Was
I love that it's the Gold Rush tournament, dude. Because like I
yeah,
haven't even thought about that since it was on TV, and
yeah,
for the longest time I stopped following like WWE and AEW. Even now, I'm more obviously independent, so like give me the indies every day, and I'm fucking gold. But I do remember that tournament. That was the tournament I feel like Edge really broke out.
yeah. He was definitely around that time. That's when Edge was starting to get that rated R superstar effect going.
The live sex celebration, baby.
Oh, that's yeah,
You know how much right? It's insane how many numbers that that segment drew. It was
yeah.
absolutely insane.
But
And it's
I'm not
like
gonna story building though. The build up to it is what made it really fun, like pop. You know,
that
just
whole
because it's kind of like teasing in your face, like spitting in your face at the end of the day. You know,
yeah,
here
yeah.
you have the golden boy who you think is going to win and take it out elimination chamber just for Edge to come in and, you know.
snatched
So
all of it.
it was a good build up, man.
I
Definitely
think
too young to be seeing that stuff. I just remember thinking, whoa,
when I
what's
think about Edge and like the ascension of that like leader story, man, and that his story with his angle with Matt Hardy, while it was based on real life,
going
dude, that was the point where I was like, fuck, I know most of this is a work from being a guy in the business, but I was like, that shit's real. That shit looks so good, and they did such a good job with it.
I think, well, I feel like obviously it happened in real life. You know, she did cheat on men and all that, but I think Vince knew that that's what I think captivates the audience is that real
Drama.
emotion and they connect on that level.
Well, that and drama. I mean, it's another piece of it too. But I mean, you could see money on that, and that's just one of the you take something that is real and you can turn it into something that generates some dollars for you as long as all parties are okay with it. All right, no problem. But
Yeah, I guess.
well, your dad says no, and you decide to shut that up. So at what point in time, did it start creeping back in your head? So you just said a minute ago, like your dad said no, you're too small, you're not big enough, blah 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 blah. I get it. When do you start really thinking that this is
Uh,
something that you want to try and do?
I never think life has a coincidence. So after the Marine Corps, my plan was to stay in the Marines and make a career out of it. Didn't happen. Got medically retired early. So I was like, all right, well now what? And it was at the time I was living with my wife at the time, and she was also living with her friend. At the time, we were boyfriend and girlfriend. But I was living with her and her roommate, and her roommate had another wrestler named Max Castellanos, and he kind of just threw the idea of wrestling, to which I thought was dumb because I was at the time I was like, I'm too old for this. There's just no way, dude. But I should have started that like when I was 20, if that was the case. And so yeah, I shot that down. I ended up going to another place called the Wrestling Shop that turned out to be an independent scene as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I was there just to buy a title. You know, I was just going out to buy the Blue Universal Championship because I was like, oh yeah, I like it. It looks nice. And from there, it was the dude was just like, hey, you ever thought about being a wrestler? And I was like, oh, someone said that too. And I was like, no way. No, hell no, I've never thought about it. And he's like, oh, well, you should. You know, you got a good look, and I have a trainer here. He could train you and this and that, blase, blase. And I thought I was like, you know what? Maybe this is what I should be doing. Who knows? Yeah, I've been feeling purposeless. Like I don't know what to do ever since the military. I'm kind of just floating around. So why not? And yeah, 2 years later, here I am.
Well, first of all, thank you for your service.
Oh,
For anyone who gets out there and fights for us, shout out to you, sir, because that's already doing more than what 75% of the population will do. So, And I dig the fact too that your journey kind of circles back around at a wrestling shop. You know what I mean? Like it's just kind of like, and again, I'm one of those guys too. I don't think anything's coincidental. Even with
Yeah.
with people that you meet in life, I think everybody's put in your path for a reason. It's up to us to figure out what that reason is. And
100%.
if you figure that out, fantastic. It's great. If you don't, then think harder. I don't know what to tell you.
That's the fact.
So you decide to take him up on this offer and start training here. So let's talk about that. Who was the trainer?
Sean Hernandez for about 2 to 3 months. It was Sean Hernandez.
Okay.
And at the time, I'm running the independent scene at this time at the shop, and this is actually where the first version of the Empire forms.
Okay.
It was it was set out to. Long story short, because there was a lot of we're gonna do this, and people shot it down because they were hating, and then another idea emerged, which was the Empire. And the idea was, okay, well, we have this young kid. He looks great. Young Randy Orton. Think of it, young Randy Orton.
Mm-hmm.
Looks good. Bam. We already got Aries, who's been, I think at this time, he has 7 titles at this place. He has 7 titles at this place. So they were like, yeah, just bring in this young kid. And we bring it in and we call it the rookie sensation. And oh my God. So then the same night, Aries has a last man standing match with this independent wrestler named Red. He loses that night. He loses one of the championships, the Alamo City Championship. Fast forward to the end of the night, same dude who won the title comes out, cuts a promo, talking about, I'm going to be a defending champ, blase, blase. I come out, I tell him, I heard you're going to be a defending fighting champ. That's cool, bro. Why don't you put it on the line right now then? So boom, puts the title up on the line, rings a bell, throws a line, I duck the line, spine buster, 1, 2, 3. Won the title right. Won the title right then and there. When I tell you, and mind you, these people have wanted Red to win the title for a while. Like the build up to he would always lose to Aries. So he finally got the title, and the crowd was like going crazy for him. And then I come in and sweep it under the rug, and I shit you not, you could hear a pin drop on the canvas of the ring because everyone was just that silent. So I just go to the ref myself and pull a Drew McIntyre. I fucking tell him, hoist my hands up. And the minute I hoist my hands up and say, yeah, everyone starts giving me a pop, blase, blase. They're cheering, yada, yada. Red extends his hand, talking about, oh, good job, like a loser. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. And I just low blow him right there. And they're like, oh, what's going on? And then, bam, Aries comes out with Oscar. And the plan was like the title was always going to stay with the Empire. If it wasn't with Aries, then it was going to come home with me.
Well, I love the fact that like it almost seems like Red's the Tommy Dreamer to Aries as Raven, and then he Mikey whipwrecked himself when he came out and accepted the challenge. There's a lot to unpack with that. Now, before I do want to unpack a lot of that, but I will in just a minute because kind of skipped over a couple of things because I do want to touch on this when you're actually getting into the actual training aspect of things, and I'm curious because everybody's answers are different. I'm very big on like strengths and weaknesses. So when you decide that this is something you're going to do, you're going to get in here, you're going to train. What were some stuff that came naturally to you versus some stuff that maybe you had to put a little work in on?
So I think, and it's a pretty loaded question because it's weird. Thank God, everything I've set my mind to. I don't want to sound like, oh, look at this asshole, but thank God, everything I've set my mind to, and that I wanted to do has just come. I'm not gonna say it's been easy, but it comes. I'm not saying I'll nail it on the first try, but it's not gonna take me more than 3 times. I know that.
No, and I'm not definitely not trying to say that at all. Like I know, like with me, for an example, brother, I was great. I was fantastic on a microphone. I always have been, always will be. For me, it was like it took me a minute to get my footwork down. And you would think because I played basketball that I would have a little bit more inept ability to make that happen. But brother, I had 2 left feet. I was a klutz. Hang on. I tripped over the motherfucking ring steps and the ropes on my debut. On my debut. Now you go back to 99, 2000 ish. It was still very territory. So like
Yeah.
we would run 6 days a week in 6
With
different
NW
cities.
all that?
What's that?
With the territories of NWA or which
No, no,
one?
no. Like it was almost like a territory system. The companies that I worked for, we would do a loop every week. It was
Oh, okay.
it was still built on the territory system, right? It was still built like that. So what did I do? For the next year to year and a half, every Tuesday night, I tripped over the motherfucking step and the goddamn ropes getting into the ring. I trolled myself and that crowd for a year and a half. So in that vein is what I'm getting at. Like, something that you may have had to, or you may not have. And again, it can come fucking naturally. It is very possible.
So yeah, I think that's what happened. The real obstacle was while I was with Hernandez, he was a great teacher to teach the fundamentals. Like how to run the ropes, Irish whip, body slam. I know he has a school now, a different school, and I can't say how it is now. But back at the time, when I was in it, I was yearning for more. That was the issue. Like, all right, it's been 3 months. And all I've done is fucking run the ropes and fucking drop down, not even drop down, fucking run the ropes, body slam, maybe an arm drag and some rolls. Like, there's got to be more
Yeah.
to them. And conveniently, that's when Oscar, the dude who started the Empire with us, said, "Oh, well, you should go to DogPound." And another wrestler named AJ Farrat was like, "Oh, you should go to DogPound. That's ran by Rodney, Mack, and Jazz."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that's when I was like, okay, well, fuck it. And once I went to DogPound, I never looked back.
Well, yeah, let's talk about that because I have talked to a couple of cats from Texas, and Rodney and Jazz's name comes up frequently. So give me some obviously some takeaways that you pulled from your experiences there.
So great teachers, honestly, they're hands on. They're very hands on. It's like I'll put it to you like this: if you're serious about about this business and you want to make it and get signed somewhere, I would say that school is definitely it definitely put me. If it wasn't for that school and if it wasn't for God in that school, I wouldn't be where I am now. And the opportunities I've had, it's just they're definitely amazing in the sense because, like I said, they're so hands on. They're very attentive. When I was at that school, like I kid you not, Monday through Monday, I would go to practice, obviously, at 7 to 10. Tuesday, I'd go to Rodney's house and we'd watch matches that I've had and the film that I would record at practice. And he'd tell me what I did wrong. This is what you got to do. I had happy feet at first. I was moving too much at first. Reps immediately eliminated that shit because of the fact that they were so attentive with that. And Wednesday, same thing, practice. Thursday, practice. Friday, if it wasn't me taking off already on the road with Rodney, because we would go out, me, him, and Soda Pop used to ride out together and go to different states and wrestle. And then Sundays, make it back in time for church or do one of their shows for DogPound. So it's one of the places where if you want to be a pro wrestler, man, this is as close as living the lifestyle as it's going to get. And they definitely install like what you need to know. Ring from knowledge to ring etiquette to just the moves and like all of it.
I was just about to say, like, just being in a car with Rodney Mack for
Oh
an
yeah.
extended period. Could you imagine that? I mean, I can only imagine that learning tree to be able to do and deal with anybody that has been signed and been featured on national television. Let's be fair. There are hundreds of thousands of professional wrestlers. There's maybe thousands of those who have made it on national television, and he is indeed one of them. So it's like I could just imagine those car conversations, man. Like, how much shit did you absorb there?
From, like I said, from going over to his house to the car rides, it was like he supplied a constant worth of knowledge that, and I was just so, and I still am to this day. I'm so hungry just to absorb and learn and get better because at the end of the day, like Yes, this is fun. Wrestling, I love it. It's fun. It's amazing. But at the end of the day, I'm trying to provide for a family. I'm trying to get signed. I'm trying to keep it real. I would love for the Empire to get signed, and as long as we're signed and we can sustain our families off of this business, then what more could you ask? You know?
A little about that here in a minute, but going back to your debut now, knowing that the tutelage that you were able to have, and did you go to Dog Pound before you came in and just fucking destroyed Red in 20 seconds?
No, I was with Sean Hernandez at the time.
Oh,
This
okay.
is for 3 months. I was with Sean Hernandez, and then after 3 months, that's when I was like, I need more than just this. Which, ironically, around that same time is when me and Aries went to Dog Pound together.
Ah, okay.
Both decided to pull the trigger. And mind you, Red, actually, my first match under the books hidden was against Aries Alexander for one of his titles. I beat Red for.
It starts with Aries, and
it's just crazy. Yeah, it does.
dude, we're gonna talk about, let's talk about the Empire, man, because you guys, so from my perspective,
Hmm.
I see a lot of tag teams. I see a lot of factions. I deal with a lot of different people, but not everybody has kind of like the chemistry outside of the ring as well as they do inside of the ring. And something that I noticed with you guys that while I was there, uh, you guys had a photographer come in and get a lot of really good pictures that were taken, just of all three of you, and some singled out pictures as well. You guys were collectively just constantly talking to each other about what you were trying to accomplish on that particular show. There was a lot going on, and that was where when I was just observing, I was like, okay, I need to take a little, get a little deeper dive here, because not everybody has all that. And from a guy who doesn't know you for real, outside of the meeting that we had in this conversation, I can see that you guys are taking this very seriously, and that draws me in as for me being who I am. So and I say that to say you don't get there overnight. Let's talk
No, no,
about, obviously, your relationship with Aries starts at the beginning, and
pretty
now
much.
everything else moves forward. Let's walk me through how you guys all come together, and and when did this the idea of maybe putting this thing together as a trio cross your minds? Oh, and bear in mind, I just know the Empire that I saw. I don't know if there was
Yeah.
an original incarnation. Don't know. Educate me.
So, like I said, the original crew was Aries, who was 7-time champion at the time. Oscar Samaron, who runs the wrestling shop at the time. He's the owner, and he also booked the matches at the time. And then myself, the young boy, the rookie sensation. And for a while, it was like it was supposed to be Evolution. He was our Ric Flair. Aries was obviously Triple H.
Yeah.
I was Reigns. It was Evolution with a huge mix of DX because there were some antics we would pull, some funny stuff. Like I remember Aries, it was for some Texas title against Benny Dream, something like that, and Benny obviously lost. He was going to lose, and Aries tears the belt right there in front of him, calling him a loser and this and that. Throws it in the trash can. I hoist up a big flag covering Aries, and he's pretending to piss on the belt in front of the crowd. Where the DX antics came, and I told him, I was like, the next plot, which we never got to, and I told Aries I really wanted to do it, and the guys were very iffy on it because they're like, no, we'll get canceled and this and that. Was LGBT month was, gay community pride month was just around the corner, and I was like, oh, here we go, and I want to reenact the Shawn Michaels fucking Montreal flag incident. And they're like, no, bro, you're going to get us canceled. And I was like, bro, it's just humor. I was like, we can piss in front of people, but now that, like, this is where we go too far. But never happened. And I was like, you never did it. Oh, well. That's because we ended up going to DogPound.
Mm.
And at the time, Oscar was all for sending us to DogPound. He was like, "No, you guys should go. You need the time to get better." And I was like, "Okay, hell yeah." And once at DogPound, it kind of we were a tag team, me and Aries, known as the Deities of Destiny. It didn't catch any movement. We were faces, and it just didn't catch any traction. And we didn't have a sense of identity. And that's kind of where it stuck because then we ended up splitting paths. We ended up going singles routes. And it sucked just because he did his own thing. And eventually, he did leave Dog Pound. At the time, I was traveling a lot with, like I said, Rodney and Soda already. So I was more invested in that. And he kind of went out, did his own thing. I went out, did my own thing. At this time, Dog Pound was part of a NWA Texas territory. So um, I was out there doing things with NWA, became NWA Texas Pound for Pound champion. And then at one point, I remember I had done a show called EBW. And Aries was on that show. It just so happened he was just on that show somehow. And we talked, and it was one of those talks where it was awkward, I guess, because we haven't seen each other for so long. And it was just meh. It was meh. Fast forward later on, I get injured. I tear a hip flexor.
Mm.
And yeah, sucked. Tore one of my hip flexors, had to vacate my title. And at the time, I entered like a deep depression, and I kind of just, well, I left Dog Pound, you know. No one. It only sucked because that's like kind of when you realize in the wrestling world, everyone's your friend until everything is taken away, and then all of a sudden, ain't no one reaching out, ain't no one asking what's going on. Granted, Rodney asked a few times. I'll say that my coach definitely checked up on me, but everyone who claimed to be friends or this and that, nothing. The only person that did end up reaching out, ironically, was Aries. And then I saw him again at a EBW show. And we had a crazy idea of what if we formed the Empire again? And I was like, I thought he was joking. I thought it was just for shits and giggles. I was like, nah, he can't be serious. And he was dead serious. And I said, I mean, fuck it. What do we have to lose? You know? At the time, I felt like I got everything taken away. At perfect timing, I was NWA Texas champ, well, pound for pound champ. I was about to have a match on NWA, and all of that happened, and then just gone. It was gone. So I was like, oh, I guess what else is there to lose? Fast forward again, we bring it up to Oscar, the originator, the one who started it with us.
Mm-hmm.
He said he wanted all in. He said he wanted all in. Turns out he didn't. He was just stringing us along for a while, and then uh, I had mentioned to Oscar, what if we bring in Jacob Prodigy, our third member? Why? Because I had had a match with Jacob at EBW prior to this, and I thought the kid was really good. I was like, out of like everyone on the indie scene that I've come across with, this kid is good. Aries had a match with him and thought the same thing. So it just makes sense. We bring it up to Oscar. He said no. He immediately said, no, I don't want Jacob in it. And in my head, I was like, well, damn, that sucks because we kind of told the kid already about it. And he said he was down. So, And just to find out, he was just stringing us along, didn't want to do it. I don't know why he was stringing us along, but needless to say, it is what it is. And I just told Aries, I remember, I was like, no, you know what? Fuck this. If we're going to do it, we're going to do it right. We're going to put Jacob in it, and we're going to launch this in Laredo, Texas. And we're going to make Oscar regret not fucking buying in and investing in when we told him this is going to take off. Why? Because it's full of people that the indies is cool, but a lot of people in the indies have the mindset of, oh, it's just the indies, bro. Who cares? Like, you never fucking know who you're gonna see or meet at the Indies, bro. You never know who's watching. You never know what could transpire. And just the mindset of, oh, it's just the Indies. Well, motherfucker, how do you expect to get out of the Indies? Like, if it's just the Indies, how are we ever gonna get out of the Indies? And that's what's cool is that Aries, I know, is striving. He wants to make it in this business. I want to make it in this business. We know Jacob wants to make it in this business. So when you combine three guys who are just doing whatever, doing whatever and willing whatever it takes to make it to this business, how can you not succeed?
So you say a lot right there that I resonate with. First of all, let me go to the chat real quick. We've got a new chatter. It's Night Stash says the sequel far surpassed the original in regards to the Empire.
I 100%. This version of the Empire is
So when you say you never know who's watching, that is 1000% true. And how I know this I didn't have anything to do with my in-ring career. It has everything to do with this platform. This platform that started at nothing 2.5 years ago. Probably when you were having your first match, I was having my first live stream. That's to put this in perspective, right?
Okay.
So from there, and the second thing that you said is, how are you going to get anywhere if you don't fucking believe in yourself and try to this is more than just the indies. This platform, brother, is unreal. And we have a lot of friends that, work for companies that end with an E or a W, that are, producers and odds and ends. And I know that they watch. They tell me. they watch our live events. They tell me. And I've been fortunate enough to cultivate a lot of really cool relationships by just sitting here and watching independent wrestling and watching a lot of guys flourish and watching the scene flourish and just being me. You know what I'm saying? And the second thing that I kind of want to piggyback off of is going back to like the National Wrestling Alliance. So you may or may not be aware of this. And, I do think that with what I've seen, like, I think that's a logical step for the Empire. I think that is the first logical step to take to getting to the national platform. And why I say that is because, I know how professional wrestling is. I know that friendships, they come and they go. They're fast friends. That's what I used to call people, single serving. Say like a little single pack of sugar. Go to Fight Club. That's the single serving aspect of it. Everybody is single serving for why they're there. And that's professional wrestling, unfortunately, for a lot of it. And then but there are some out there, some really good people out there that look to move forward. And I think that the NWA is something that you guys could really, really make a play for. And I think you do that with relationships that you've already built, but I also think that you do that with relationships that you may build in the near future. Because I do have someone from the NWA coming to Texas that is very well on their roster and doing some pretty big things. Mims is going to be with us.
Okay.
And I would maybe coming to do more than wrestle. Like maybe looking and maybe doing other things. If you read in between those lines and read in between those lines. But there are other possibilities and there are other things, and that always circles back around to you never know who's watching or when they're watching too. And I appreciate that mindset because that right there is, to me, it speaks volumes because it's a very loud statement to make. And it just further affirms that what I felt in San Antonio is legitimate, that you guys are here and you're here to be for real. And I can appreciate that more than anything else. So as Empire forms and you guys have come together, one thing that I noticed while I was in San Antonio, you guys have a lot of fucking hardware, bro. Y'all are rocking some championship gold.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the run that you've been on, because for someone, and this is something else, and I think that this is so cool because throughout this conversation, I've learned a lot already. I've learned military background, injury took you into a really bad spot, but now you're back up. You're back up here, and you instead of giving up, you have stepped back in and have made this thing happen, and you're finding such a fucking massive level of success.
I appreciate it.
So the question is, let's talk about the titles. Let's talk about how you get there, and let's get to it.
Uh, I guess it started at APW in Laredo, and that was the first place where we introduced the Empire, this Empire 2.0. And I guess they just,
not to correct you. This is, for me, this is the Empire. I don't know anything about 2.0. For me, this is the Empire. It's the only one I know.
So, and they just bought into it, man. They liked it. They saw we were serious about this, and we got this. I mean, we got the straps in I think it was a triple threat TLC match. It was us versus Redsway and STK. Jacob does a crazy ass 450 through a table. It was insane. It was cool. Fast forward, I ended up getting another title. That was the Community Rise title. And I mean, that was, I hate to almost say inevitable. I think that's the word. Like Thanos says, it was inevitable. It was like, it was going to happen too. Aries, of course, he's been in APW longer. So he kind of was already, I think he was already heavyweight and openweight champion. So,
yeah, he was telling me that he was rocking 2 championships at one time. He may have been when I talked to him. I'm not sure.
So I was like, I knew he had already the titles. And then Jacob obviously has the tag titles with me, but he also has the same promotion we started at the wrestling shop. He is now their heavyweight champion over there.
Isn't that funny?
It is funny. It really is funny.
Huh.
It is funny.
I have a lot on my mind about that dude. I haven't even met him, and I don't know if I like him. I'm just telling you. I'm just keeping it real, brother. I just don't know.
Because he's a trip, man. They used to be so good, but like he just made it into something so sour, unfortunately. So it's like,
well, we ain't focusing on him. I'll just hush. So as you guys have progressed, man, I would say, what are some of the highlight moments for you thus far? Like, obviously winning championships with these guys and building this thing's got to be a big piece of it. But what are some other moments for you that stand out?
I think championships are cool, man. Of course, I think everyone strives for that. But for me, it would have to be AAA. This one will be the 4th, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Auditions where, if you really want this to like succeed, we gotta just go out and grab it by the balls. Is what I told Aries. It's like we gotta go out and just. We want it. Time we did a first AAA collaborative show with the APW show that Aries got us onto. And they told us, oh, this is Jorge, who's important to the AAA collaboration shows and works with AAA. And then this is Roberto Figueroa, the AAA commentator. So, like I said, I just went over there and introduced us. I was like, grab it by the balls, man. I asked him if he had a chance to see our match. He said he saw some of it. Blase. Didn't get to see that much of it, but he did like it, and we'd be in future contact. Fast forward, we get somehow, I don't remember how, but we get selected to do AAA dates. Like, we were on a tour, and we got selected to do Odessa, Houston, and San Antonio. And I was on my way to the Odessa show, and I got arrested. And I got thrown in jail. So I got arrested Friday morning and didn't get out of jail until like Saturday night.
Oh, do I even want to know why?
So the stupidest thing is, they said my license was suspended, right? And it didn't make sense because when I went to the DMV to pay the ticket, they said the ticket was already paid for. So I got it, and I'm not gonna lie, I also had weed on me, so but it wasn't a crazy amount, so thank God for that.
Fucking
It was like less.
2025. Who doesn't nowadays?
So that happened. Got to Miss Odessa. Big rip. I was like, oh my God. Fast forward, finally get out in time to do the Sunday Houston show for AAA, which was on my birthday. And that's that day. I remember I broke down at the end of the match when we got back to the locker room, just because we really needed this one to be a home run to like impress. And the thought from getting out of jail afterwards was, fuck. Now I have to do this show. Are they going to be mad because I wasn't there Friday? Just a lot of things were going on in my head. That
it's a big opportunity.
And the fact that it was my birthday was like the last thing on my mind. I was like, I could care less that it was my birthday today. Let's just hurry up and get this done. Got done. First match of the night. Big pop, like huge reaction that you would want. And it was a magical night. Thank God it all worked out and played out in our favor, because then in San Antonio, when we saw it, tore the house down even more so enough to get, the minute we finished the Houston show, they asked us to come back for their March 29th show immediately. That's how good it went. So, and then San Antonio was good, which kept us with the connection of Roberto and Jorge. So those are things that are just, like I said, we had to grab it. Big pivotal moments for the Empire is what I would call it.
Well, I mean, obviously, we all know who owns a AAA now. So, yeah. I mean, you talk about eyeballs and being seen. That's an opportunity to be seen, and that's exactly how it should be viewed. You know, first of all, don't beat yourself up over a mistake. It happens. Shit happens. It happens all the time. It's not. All you can do is learn from it. Right. That's it. That's literally all anybody can do. Take it from a guy who's made many in his life, and has only been adulting now for 12 years. 12 years. I've been an adult for 12. We all go through situations. But reality is this is whether you wanted to or you didn't, you made the next shot, you knocked it out of the park, and you self-corrected that mistake, because obviously we need you guys back on this show. Like, this needs to happen. And for me, on my side of the screen, it's kind of like really cool to see, because you guys want it. I can see it. It's there. All you got to do is just be in the right place at the right time from the right audience, and it's over. It's a done deal, regardless of what company it's with. So, hearing some of your moments now, I would be remiss if we didn't spend a few minutes talking about my trip out to San Antonio, because I did get to come out and meet a lot of you guys, and I had a good time for the most part. I did leave with a scar. I don't know if y'all can see that on my hand right there. That's from Caius. Yeah. I had fun at the show, to be fair. It was my first time meeting a lot of you guys, face to face anyway. I've talked to several cats while we've been doing these Beyond the Bells. It was really cool to be there and see you guys really work, and obviously witnessing moments. And one of the moments that I did get to witness, and I think that it is so cool, was Prince Pretty's graduation. And Caius giving Prince Pretty, the speech, and that being a thing, and being able to witness that was special to me. And there was several other moments that were special as well, like whacking Caius in the face with a belt. That was fantastic.
That was a good one.
So I really kind of want to know from you guys' perspective. When did you guys figure out that I was coming? Or was it me dropping a promo or a clip or something that said I was on my way?
Caius had kind of given us an advance, I guess. not a crazy advance. Kai's really didn't drop into detail as to what was happening. He said, so and so is coming, so y'all just do your best. We were like, got it. But we didn't know any details or involvement. Maybe Aries might have. I know I didn't know that many details. Neither did Jacob. It was more of a, this is what's going to happen. It was kind of on the, when we got to the show, that's when they told us, that's when Kai told us, oh, well, this is going to happen. Because I think the day before, they told us, oh, well, we're going to go over now. And we were like, okay. And then they were like, oh, well, the day of the show, well, now we're going to go under. And I was like, oh, okay. Whatever you need, boss.
I didn't even know what the fuck was going on. I was like, you want to do this? You want to do this? I was like, I'll do whatever you want me to do, man. Like, I'm coming to help. I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna film. I'm gonna have cameras running. I'm gonna, whatever you guys need. I'm here to help you guys do whatever. And then, so for me, it was like the day before. He was like, I need a ring announcer now, and I may need a referee. And I mean, I was like, brother, I'm coming. Whatever I can do. And when we got, so from my side of the coin, like, we know that we're coming out there in June, right? Like, that's going to be our first live event in San Antonio, and truthfully, don't even know what the fuck is going to happen here. If anything, I have no idea. I just know that I'm bringing some friends. And we're partnering up with community, and a big piece of that for me was to also get out there, see the building, see what this place looks like what can we do here, because I'm anticipating hopefully a much larger crowd, because we've got a lot of folks coming that I think you guys will benefit from being in a locker room with, and vice versa. Like, networking and connecting is what this is all about. So getting out there to see all this and witness all this was fantastic. But Kai is springing stuff up on me like the night before that's just wrestling. That's what I call that. I thought that it was a fantastic experience for me for a first time. Now, we do got some business to talk about, because I did do your boy Aries dirty. And this first time that I've had to sit down and talk about it. The footage has not been put out there yet, guys. I have it. I'm just debating on whether or not I want to put it out there, because I don't even know how to feel about it right now. I think I got caught up in a moment, and I might have done some damage here, because I did leave with a scar, courtesy of Kais.
Maybe. Well, you're getting the fat man. That was funny. But the Empire man, it's all right. Well, it's not all right. I'd be lying if I told you it was all right, Chris. Eventually the Empire has to.
I know it's coming. I do, and here's. I don't. Again, I don't want to. I'm not trying to. I don't want to be rude, disrespectful to anybody. I haven't done this in 20 years, and that doesn't mean that I'm not prepared to if I have to. Number one, but number two is, I'm not trying to pick a fight. That's not what I want to do. And understand where I went wrong here on several fronts. First of all, I let emotion step in the way by even interjecting myself on either fronts, whether it was Caius or whether it was Aries. Now, where Aries fucked up with me was assuming that I was with him. Like, that was never even discussed. That was never even brought up. That wasn't even nothing. So hitting Caius was kind of.
It was a smart move.
Well,
but then
go ahead.
You think then we extend our hand out to you? Yeah, like an investment, and it's almost like you spat in our face.
I know,
and we
I know that it's not going to go unchecked, and I know that when it comes, it's going to come, and I know you have a Rolodex, and I have one too.
It's just business.
It is just business. Actually, over in chat, they say, Night Slash says Chris joining Empire is what's best for business. I had an opportunity, and apparently I shat all over it. So I don't think that opportunity is going to come around a second time.
Hey, we never. Their business is settled. Who knows?
It's just very possible, but there's definitely open business on the table, and for me, it's like, again, I know that I'm not a spring fucking chicken. And I haven't, like I said, I haven't done this in 20 years, but I have been back in the ring. I have been getting myself back in shape, but I've dropped 22 pounds since January 1. I am about 15 pounds away from goal. And when I get there, I may take an ass whipping. It very well may come, and I'm okay with that too. So,
And then business is squashed. Invest in the empire, dog. Like Chris said, that's for business, man.
well, listen. Here's what's best for business with this conversation, because I've really had a great time here just over the last hour, just chatting with you and really finding out more about you and what you've got going on and the whole scene that you've kind of built around yourself. I love the fact that you didn't give up on yourself. I love the fact, because it's so easy to do, especially when you get drugged down into situations like that. Being on the cusp of breaking out and only have it taken away would defeat a lot of people. It did not defeat you, and you have come back, and your journey is really, really about to take off, and is really about to be something special to watch. With that being said, this is where I say that I can really help you guys. And it's kind of like the winding into like the last segment of the show. Don't feel rushed. You take as much time as you need with these answers, because again, this only helps me help you. We cast a wide net. We are seen on every continent. We have a lot of friends. With independent wrestling right now, the scene's fucking on fire. And while I do know that contract status is where your head is at, but on the road to get there, where are some companies, whether it's here in the States, it could be international, doesn't matter. Where are some companies out there that are on your radar? Some places that if you could get an opportunity just to show your skills, where would they be?
Man, I'd be lying if I said like I knew companies off the top of my head. I know like there's states and places I do want to wrestle.
States.
Like, I still want to.
You give me states, I'll give you companies. How about that?
There we go. I know California for sure is one of them. Michigan, I know Michigan sounds weird, but I'm from Detroit, Michigan, so it would be very cool to just kind of wrestle out there. Obviously overseas like England, Japan, stuff like that. That would be really cool. Arizona, oddly enough, is one of them, and Florida. Obviously, how can I forget Florida?
Well, y'all are
New
coming
York.
to Florida.
Yeah, that's another one off the bucket list.
Yep, y'all are coming.
New York, New Jersey. That's pretty much it, man. Like I said, I just want to open my palette more, is what I call it. Expose myself to different wrestling styles. That's what Rodney was big on. Was just putting yourself in uncomfortable situations where it's either sink or swim. Pipe going burst under pressure.
Well, see, I used to tell people all the time, in order to get comfortable, you have to be uncomfortable.
100%.
Like that's really how, back in my day, that's how we flushed out what would work and what didn't work. If you don't go out and try, you're never gonna know. And if you don't play whatever you're trying to work on, like I always say this too, you're never gonna succeed if you're afraid to fail.
100%.
That's
You got to go out there.
Yeah,
it's better at least to fail knowing you tried and gave it all than to
literally just had that conversation. Literally, not even 48 hours yet. The same conversation. And see where, like, for me, it's where it's at. It's the platform for real. So like I always tell people, like with my story, I got out of wrestling because I fell into the dark side of wrestling. I fell into drugs and alcohol, and I had OD. And I shouldn't fucking be here. I should not be sitting here. I have died 4 times. I'm not kidding you. I should not fucking be sitting here. There's a reason. And it didn't ever hit me. And see, I say I've been adulting for 11 years, 12 years, something like that. But it didn't hit me until about a year and a half ago that the reason that I'm still here, and this is why I say nothing is coincidence either, is that like it's this platform. It started at nothing. It has grown into a global kind of situation and so quick. And now it's like, now that this has happened, how do I shift this and put this, these eyeballs, put them on you guys. How do I do this? What better way can I do this? Is it bringing you guys on podcasts like this and clipping that shit and putting it out there? Live events. That was the evolution. How do I get people into new markets? And when you say states, every state that you mentioned outside of Michigan, I think I've got a pretty good footing in. I'm fairly positive. I'll have to go back and listen to when I listen on the edit, I'll be like, okay. So California, obviously, we have a lot of friends. March 28th is our next live event. That's Good Vibrations. It is with our friends in California. It's going to be a bunch of, and Caius is going to be there. It's by fucking design. It's, nothing is coincidence. Brother hit me up legitimately maybe 3 weeks ago and was like, dude, I'm going to be in California on a business trip that same weekend. He's like, I said, I'm doing a battle royal. Do you want to come and do it? Perfect. Hey. Caius represents community wrestling. Danny Devine, Millennium Pro Wrestling. J2 Mattioli, Primal Pro Wrestling. 3 different companies in one room. Fucking network. Go do your thing. You know what I mean? Like, how else do you open doors to make, things happen? Because as long as there's open dialogue, I'm not saying anything's going to happen when I put these guys in a room together, but the opportunity for it to happen is definitely fucking there. And if the network connects and they can connect, what's to say, someone from SoCal doesn't hit up Caius and say, hey, I need a tag team that's willing to come out here. You know what? Door opens. Things happen. We move this thing together and we build this thing together. So, and here in some states, the states come with opponents. So whether it's tag or singles, who are some people out there that's on the scene that you definitely want to try and mix it up with?
That's a good question, man. I guess Funaki would be cool. Funaki's son.
Jesse Funaki, brother. We're doing a Lone Star Spotlight on him on Monday night. I know exactly who the fuck you're talking about. That kid is fantastic.
Yeah, Jesse Funaki would be cool. Maybe Cappuccino.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of more, like people that just come to my mind.
Could also be tag teams too now.
Okay, yeah. I don't know that many. I'd be lying if I said I knew that many tag teams in the independent scene.
Oh, okay. I know plenty. We obviously got the Pump Line. So I arguably think that they're one of the next teams that's going to be signed.
Okay, I'll have to look into them. I know Purple Haze.
Yep.
And I faced him actually, one of the members from Purple Haze up in Arkansas. So I'd definitely love to go up against their tag team. Dante Casanova or even Richard Holiday. Holiday.
Yes. I love Holiday. I had him on the show. Had a blast. That dude is. Man, he's something else in a good way.
Definitely. I like the vibe I see off of the screen that I see. He's a wonderful character, man. I really love him.
He's got this. He has the business down, man. He's such a good heel, and I don't even know if he's trying. I just think he's being himself. I don't think he's having a good time.
It looks very natural. Yeah, but he's definitely on the list just because he'd definitely be number one if I had to pick one. It'd be Richard Holiday.
I'm just saying. We did some sponsorships with him for narcissistic behavior last year. That was like, so I woke up in 2025, the beginning of 2025, and I was like, what do I want to accomplish this year? How can I grow the platform? What can I do? And at that point in time, like there was no self-investment or anything like that. We weren't advertising. We weren't doing anything. And because I didn't know. I was like, how? I didn't expect this shit to begin with. So what? Now I got to navigate all of it. So, what do? How do you give back? How do you sponsor? What do you, I started looking at, talent sponsorships. And Holiday was doing narcissistic behavior, and I just sent him a blind DM. Actually, he had DM'd me on X because we did a spotlight show on him, and just to tell me thank you for doing a show. Thank you for doing that. Well, it meant a lot. Appreciate it. Keep doing the good work. Just the attaboys. It was the fact that he sent it. He didn't have to. But when narcissistic behavior came out, I DM'd him. There was no communication or anything about, but I knew that channel was open on X, and I just like, how can I help? How can we help? And he sent me a little list of things, and I went. Pff. We ended up sponsoring Anthony Green, Ben Bishop, and Aaron Rourke, and helped him out. And he was like, "I want to come and do your show." I was like, "What?" I didn't mark out often, brother, but Holiday's my dude. I love that guy.
Yeah. Cool.
And I think you're the first person to mention him on, people that you'd like to get in the ring with. So yeah, that may cause me to do some inquiring. So just so you know. So let me ask you this now. So we've got some states that you want to get in, that you want to get into, some people that you want to get into the ring with. Who are some people out there that we should be watching as a platform? Who's out there that's those hidden gems that doesn't get the spotlight or maybe needs to get the spotlight?
I would be a fool, and it's gonna sound so biased, but obviously I'm gonna have to throw my boy Jacob Prodigy in there, the third member.
Sure.
He is one of those where we see something in the kid, man. He's just naturally charismatic, funny, willing to do whatever it takes. Because when we started, he was a little out of shape. I'd be lying if I said he wasn't in shape. But we told him the only way this is going to work out and you're part of the Empire, dog, is if you get in shape. And man, does the kid look fantastic. Had some training at AAPW. And not the longest training, but has had training.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just naturally gifted, man. Like how we were talking about, like this just comes to some people. He's just one of those people that like he definitely deserves a spotlight, and that's what we've been trying to do for him ever since inviting him to the group. So I'd definitely be a fool to not say Jacob Prodigy. Someone else, the unbiased option, I guess. I honestly couldn't say.
The wheels were turning. It's okay. You don't have to. It is what it is. We got Jacob, and I can take that for sure. There's somebody down there that did catch my eye that I had not seen before, and I'll throw his name out here now because I do think that dude needs a little bit of love, man. Like Darren Hale. I had not seen him before in any form, whether it was on social media or anything. And I really liked his match with Revan Dark. And I'd seen some stuff from Revan, but Hale was a virtual unknown to me. And I came out of that show like specifically. I told Caius, I was like, I don't even know who we've all booked from community wrestling to come up on the 20th. Outside of you guys and Caius and I think Selena and a couple more, but I was like, I want him. He needs to be on this show. Like I can find something for him to do, and I can find somebody for him to work with or something. Cause I think there's something there with him. I don't know. What are your experiences?
He came from EBW at one point. I know he was in a tag team called the Chosens or something like that. I can't say much. I'd be lying if I said I knew much about Dan, but what I can say is from the minute he's joined community, he's striving, man. He's definitely, I guess, he's one of those where he puts in the work, he puts in the work at the training, and he just doesn't give up. That's, I think, and I don't know what he does, but I will say this: he does crack me the fuck up whenever we are doing some trainings, just because he's got like this fucking 80s porno flick stash, and whenever the bump and something's happening, he's all, oh, and like playing with the mustache. And it's the stupidest shit ever, but it hard to not laugh and break character when it happens. But whenever I just see him do that shit, I die. So I could see, he's definitely. I don't know how long he's been wrestling, but he's definitely. I know he's starting to be coming out more into the scene, I guess. And
I'm curious. I'm curious to see what he does. There's something there. Like the more I watch, or the more I watch of people, the more it will sink in, and it'll whatever it is will connect, and I'll be like, that's it. Whether it's psychology, whether it's ring work, whether it's whatever, it could be an entrance, it could be something, but there's something there. There's something there with a lot of y'all there, man, and I'm all bullshit aside, I'm really looking forward to developing our relationship with the channel, and where you have 2 dates that are tentative. Well, one for sure, the other one's tentative. We got to see how we do on one to determine what 2 is going to look like. But my goal, man, is to bring people to the local scene that don't get there often, and the whole circle of the platform is who should we be watching and who are those hidden gems. And thankfully, I've been able to come across a lot of them, and a lot of these guys are just as hungry as you are when it comes to getting out here and making a go of things. So I will make you and the Empire a promise. I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know where it's going to happen, but I will get you guys into a new market somewhere so that you can be seen as these things continue to progress, and as we hone in on what our model for those live events are going to be. Because I did mention you are coming to Florida in September. I think it's the 19th, if I'm not mistaken. And that's a collaborative show with Community Wrestling. This one where, we're both putting in finances for this to make this happen. And the more that this stuff goes on, the more companies that are starting to inquire about this as well. So there's a lot of different avenues to go down. You mentioned, up north, Jersey, Pennsylvania. Like we're in talks with Illinois, and we're there's a lot, brother. There's a lot of things that can happen here, and something that I'll circle back around on before we close things out is something that you said at the beginning of the show. You never know who's watching and when they're watching. So I appreciate you giving me some time just to come in and chat and hang out and just get to know each other a little bit better and talk about your run thus far. It's been a short 2 years, but there's going to be so much more coming your way. Is there anything that you would like to plug? Anything you want to throw out there? Anything you want to talk about before we get ready to close this out?
No, just thanks for having me on the show. Really appreciate it. I had a blast. I know you clocked my voyeurs, but like I said, business will get settled and we'll be chilling. But it was great to be on, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun time. It's going to be an interesting ride. That is for damn sure. Over in chat, Brianna said at some point, sorry I missed it, that Santiago, that they need that new Empire shirt. So where can people pick up your merch? Is there anywhere out that you guys are distributing it? Go ahead.
Yes, they are, and they will be coming out either here in either the end of March or the middle of April. I know that.
Okay, Brianna, there you go. Are you guys going to be just doing them at live events, or are they going to be available online anywhere?
I know for now, mainly at the shows we're at.
Live events.
But we will work and get it online.
That's all that matters. So if you want to pick one of them up, guys, they're coming out the end of March. Catch them at any live event. They'll have them on hand. The easiest way that you can show your support, guys, is by sharing, and subscribing. It's free. It doesn't really cost you anything. In a lot of places, like Instagram, as an example, you can hit up Santiago at. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that, brother. It's on the screen. It's right underneath him. Type in Santiago Medina, and you're going to find him. And hit that follow button. Because it costs you nothing, and you're probably scrolling social media right now. You're probably watching this at some social media right now. Hit the follow, do the things. If you haven't followed us, why the fuck not? It just seems to be the thing to do, because we're live here just about every day, guys. We have either Beyond the Bells, we've got all kinds of content, all kinds of different things that we film. at all times of the day because we cast a wide net. As I say, we have friends everywhere. We couldn't do this without each and every one of you. If you would like to join us next time, that'll be tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern, as I have Alyssa Rihos from the House of Champions coming in to join me. For my guest today, Mr. Santiago. God damn, dude. I am Chris Page, and we will see you next time.